weird first impression.
Yeah.
It was, of course, George W. Bush. I used to say that it was Shaquille O'Neal. People accused me of being racist. The fact of the matter is, gorillas weigh over 300 pounds, have black skin, and can't shoot free throws. You guys laugh more, I'll have to tell less jokes. I have a bad habit of mumbling, but I also have really bad handwriting, so at least I'm consistent. I have an astigmatism in my eye that throws off my depth perception. It makes me bad at every sport involving balls, except wrestling. I was going to do an impression of Sarah Palin, but then I thought, I was talking to a cannibal friend of mine, and he told me that to freshen his breath, he sucks on Mentos. I prefer Andy's mints myself, but Andy hates it that I eat all his mints. You guys are a good crowd, I'm happy about that. Otherwise, I would have told you this next joke. I asked that cannibal guy, I said, hey man, what do I do if they're a tough crowd? He said, well, when I'm faced with a tough crowd, I just let them stew for a while. Thanks for the second round of laughs, Bob. I try not to tell stereotype jokes, though, because I am one of them. My eyes are half open, I'm really calm, and I go to Chico State, so I know what you're thinking. It's not true. I was not born in California. When I moved out here, I lived out in Santa Rosa, and it's near the coast, and everyone was like, you gotta watch out for sharks. Man, sharks will eat you. And I was like, well, the fact is, sharks, bees kill more people every year than sharks do. And yet, Jaws is way scarier of a movie than My Girl. The Incredible Hulk is an interesting guy because the Incredible Hulk says, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Name one person you like when they're angry. In fact, people like the Incredible Hulk when he's angry because he throws a tank into the sun and hits a dinosaur and ridiculous things. It's not called The Incredible Mr. Rogers. Watch him calmly resolve disputes. A friend of mine names all her cats after characters from the TV show Friends. So she has Ross and Chandler and Joey. And she worked her way through all the characters. She's like, I'm going to move on, and do that 70s show. And I was like, you forgot one. You need to name a cat Ugly Naked Guy. Because then situations will occur like, don't let Ugly Naked Guy out of the house. Or, Ugly Naked Guy, did you poop on the floor again? Or, Ugly Naked Guy curled up in my son's lap and went to sleep. It was precious. I had a terrible nightmare. It wasn't scary at all. Is it more insulting to use the word peon as a noun or as a verb? You don't see a lot of colorblind gang members. Or maybe you do. You just don't know it. Speaking of gangs, I think, was anyone here in a gang? I'm trying to, sorry. But speaking of gangs, their recruitment is getting pretty blatant these days. I was at campus the other day. There was a sign for a blood drive. I drove past a Walgreens, and the debut had burned out, so it was an Algreens. Which I think is still a drugstore. So there I was, fighting a bear for a sandwich. Now usually I would defer to the bear. I'm a reasonable man. But I hadn't eaten all day and this was a really good sandwich. So I thought about it for a minute, made my decision. I reached back and I let the bear have it. I like that story because I told you exactly what happened and you still have no idea what happened. See, it is a Sarah Palin joke, you guys have it? She writes notes down here. I was in a coffee shop one day, and this woman started hitting on me, which was weird, until we started talking for a minute, and I realized, she said, you know, I work for FedEx. And I said, oh, you're used to picking up outgoing mails. Coffee shops are a terrible place to meet women. Every time you buy them another drink, they just get more and more alert. And more talkative. It's usually the opposite of what you want.
Coffee shop one's
I love Aesop's fables. I love stories with morals, and there's one in particular. It's called The Story of the Greedy Dog. It goes like this. There once was a greedy dog who had a giant bone, and he was running around with it. And as he crossed a bridge, he looked in the water on the side, and he saw another dog with another bone. And he said to himself, I'm a greedy dog, so I want that dog's bone too. So he barks at the dog, and of course loses his bone in the river, and it washes away. And the moral of the story is, dogs have terrible depth perception. Some of the jokes I tell go over people's heads, which makes me think, I should tell shorter jokes. So this is the shortest joke I know. Tom Cruise.